Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show, More Out of Life and Business with Kristen Hertzog. Today, we're going to be talking about an unavoidable topic. Whether you are a C-level executive, working as a manager, working in any level of sales, we have to deal with people. So today, we're going to be talking about the art of customer service, how to engage people, not only short-term, but long-term as well. Virtually as well as in person, customer service affects many, if not all, of the jobs out there. So today we're going to be talking with Caleb Bressler. He is a sales manager at the Amish Experience at Plain and Fancy Farms. He's going to be sharing with us what has worked for him, both on the virtual level as well as in person, how he's cultivating relationships with people that matter most. So Caleb, you are at the Amish Experience. What the heck is that? What are we experiencing? And some people are even asking, who are the Amish? Can you give us a lowdown?
Sure. So the Amish are basically a Christian denomination, and they started in Europe. And they were sort of separating from the world. So two very important things to them are community and modesty, being plain and simple. And so that's really what they are. And so they came to Lancaster. Lancaster is the oldest Amish settlement in the world. So
wow.
This is definitely a place with a lot of history, about the Amish. And so the Amish Experience is essentially a place where people can come to learn about the Amish, learn about who they are, and learn the hows and whys of their culture, which is really what we're trying to focus on, kind of explaining, who the Amish are, why they do what they do, so people are coming away with a good understanding of them.
Okay, awesome. So as far as what your particular company offers, I understand you have kind of three specific areas that you have identified that people want to learn about the Amish. Okay.
So one thing we do is we actually take people out into the countryside. We have farmlands tours, and obviously you can't take people every hour through a real house. And so we have a replica of a house and school that we take people through. And we also have a theater show. It's an experiential cinema. It's one of the very few on the East Coast, and that kind of gives a little bit of history and talks about the choice young people have to make about joining the church. And we also have a tour where we take people to visit the Amish in person. So, a lot of people want to meet the Amish, so we create a tour specifically for that as well.
Wow. So it sounds like you really are hitting many different target markets. You're getting young people, people in the middle, older folks. It sounds like there's a little bit something for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, awesome.
Exactly.
So in your role, in your managerial role, and can you tell us a little bit about what you've done with social media and utilizing your brand of customer service and getting positive results with social media?
So one thing that's very important, particularly in tourism, is TripAdvisor. So, when you go to look for a trip, you want to make sure the reviews are good.
I do it all the time.
Yes. Well, yeah, so do I. It's sort of my go-to travel site. But one thing you always hear about is, if you have a bad review, make sure you respond. Don't just leave it there, because they're saying it's not even as much as the person you're responding to. A lot of times it's, other people are reading that to see how you respond. I mean, there's some businesses you look at. Sometimes when you see an owner's response and they're really rude, I'm sort of thinking, well, I don't think I really want to go here. So crafting is important. However, one thing which kind of I started doing was, well, I don't want to just respond to people who are giving negative reviews. Why shouldn't you respond to people who are giving positive reviews? Do you be appreciative and if rewarding positive feedback. And so I started responding to every review posted instead of just negative ones or critical ones. And you get more engagement that way, because if people know you're going to respond, they like hearing from you too. So people are more likely to write a review. So that's been a good thing to kind of increase engagement. And as far as Facebook, we hadn't really done much with it. When I first came, it was 250, 300 likes. But then once we started posting a little bit more regularly and doing more with it, and again, engaging people who are commenting and things like that, it went up. We're now over 2,500 likes. So, that's organic likes. That's not paid.
Wow.
So, it just shows when you're engaging people and you're creating, postings and things like that, it does create more engagement.
So really, it sounds like you're utilizing customer service, the old-fashioned concept of customer service. You're utilizing it in that way of that regular engagement with your customers and clients.
Right. Yeah, because customer service, it doesn't really matter if it's social media or face to face. There's certain things that are sort of universal that kind of just translate over. You're supposed, you want to treat people the way you want to be treated and have a Christ-like attitude toward people, and not be, just providing a good interaction. They talk a lot about, you'll see things about turn a negative interaction into a positive interaction. Because a lot of times people just want to be heard. It's not even necessarily, I want something. It's just the fact that you say, I understand. I had dealt with this one lady one time, and she was just really upset about something. And there was really nothing I could do. It was something that was pretty much completely out of my control. But just listening and saying, I understand, et cetera, that definitely calmed them down. And that's a lot of times what people are, just want to be heard. More than anything else.
What do you think the root is? I think a natural reaction of managers and business people, professionals, is to become defensive. When someone comes at us with a negative review, whether it's our issue or our company's issue, there's this initial reaction to get our guard up and not to feel almost like we need to defend whatever that is. How do you personally deal with that instinct, or do you not even have that instinct?
I'm pretty good at being able to, even if initially you would be kind of defensive, just kind of like, if I was reading this, one thing is like, if I was reading this response to me, would I feel like the business owner was attacking me back?
Right, yeah.
So if you kind of read it from that, because sometimes people don't know they're being defensive necessarily. So if you're kind of thinking, okay, if I was reading this, what would that really helps too, because you can kind of curb certain things and be like, okay, well this is a little too snarky, so let's tone it down a little bit.
It sounds like you've really been able to master the idea of separating yourself from that argument or from that diffusing that situation, really.
Yeah.
Which again is part of the art of customer service. Is as human beings, we all work so hard. We want everyone to have a positive experience, and sometimes that's just not the case.
Right.
So, can you share a little bit with us about how you've opened up some new ways of doing customer service on the one-on-one interactions? We've talked about the social media. We've talked about how you deal personally with your own feelings of okay, this isn't really about me in this moment.
Right.
What about with your clients and your customers, whether it be vendors or salespeople or small hospitality owners? How do you what is your personal brand of marketing and customer service to that group of people?
Well, in some ways it is, if you're dealing with vendors or people you work with, clients or things like that. One thing that we try to do at Amish Experience is just kind of try to stay top of mind. We say, so, sending people something in the mail, like a little thank you, people we work with, just so they're kind of reminded that we're there and that we appreciate them and things like that. So, that's a helpful thing. We had sent something to one operator, and they sent something, sent me an email, and we're like, oh, thank you so much for this. And, so that's part of something that we do. In terms of kind of building relationships with clients, one thing, this sounds very simple, but one thing is just be nice. And that just sounds like, well, duh, that sounds very simplistic.
But it's true.
I mean, you go so many places and it's just, and you feel like you're bothering people who work there. And you don't walk away feeling good about the interaction. Not only about the interaction, but you don't even feel good about yourself. It's like, oh, well, I'm just bothering this person. So I don't want people to feel that way when they're dealing with me. And I don't want to make people feel, because someone has a question. A lot of times people in an industry, you get used to certain things. So some questions come off as sort of dumb. It's like, well, obviously. But people don't necessarily know that. And even if it is a dumb question, you don't want to make people feel like they're stupid. If no one likes to feel that way. So it's being patient with people. And if somebody has a question that's just like, well, obvious, it's, you be nice about it. You don't treat them like they're an idiot. It's just things like that I really, really make make a difference. I still remember this. One of the best customer service experiences I had. It was at a restaurant. We had a waitress, and she didn't really do anything that. It wasn't like, oh, well, she followed the 10 steps to perfect customer service. She made you feel like she wanted you to be there. She was very nice. So it wasn't necessarily she did all these extraordinary things, but the fact that it was just a person who was genuinely nice made you feel, like you were wanted to, that they wanted you to be there. Was a very striking example of customer service. So it's not this difficult thing necessarily. I think you have books written on customer service, and there's certain things that it's like there are certain strategies, especially if you're a corporation but on a one-on-one level, it's not necessarily that difficult if you're just remember to be kind to people and treat them the way you want to be treated. That really does almost all the work for you. It really covers everything. And that is a way you're building trust with people because people want to deal with you and they want to talk to you. When people say things like, oh, I really like working with Caleb. That's like a nice thing to hear because, and
at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want
exactly.
people to
you want people to be able to trust you and feel like, oh, I want to deal with this person. Right. And so that's what you want when you're talking with customers and things.
Awesome. At the end of the day, what is the one thing that makes you come alive in the work that you do?
I think it's being able to help people, providing a good experience for them. When you've kind of done a tour and it does really, when people say everything was just wonderful and you guys were just wonderful and everything was great, that's a good thing because then you've helped somebody, you've helped them create an experience they wanted. Even if it's a vacation or whatever. You've made somebody happy, and that's really what the hospitality industry is about. That's really what it is about.
That's right.
So when you can do that, then you've succeeded.
And that would be something that would make you feel great about what you do, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Very good. Well, Caleb, thank you so much for joining us and sharing. Yeah, absolutely. I think that some of the themes that you're talking about are universal. They really can apply overarching to so many different types of business professionals. And, obviously your brand of doing this is working for your company. And I think they're very lucky to have you over there at Amish Experience.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you. I think some of the things that we've learned about today are really that there's some fundamental things that make us human beings. No matter what our job is, we all want to be liked. We all want to be trusted, and we all want to give our clients and our customers a great experience. Truthfully, it's for us too. It makes us feel good, and it encourages us in our own life and our own business. If you would like more information about how I can help you with life and business, the things that you're struggling with or being challenged in areas of your life, I welcome you to contact me for a free consultation. I'm performance coach Kristen Hertzog, and you've been watching More Out of Life and Business. We'll see you next time.